So we need to know the names of the strings. So I don't mean names like Bob, Blanche, and Cornelius, and Wolfgang. I mean the letter names, the notes that we're actually hearing when we play that note, when we play that string open. When I don't play any other frets or anything, I just call it an open E note in this case. There's two little sayings that will, what do they call them, acrostics or something like that, to memorize what they are. Now the notes themselves are actually E, or the low E string. It's the lowest sound we can make on a guitar. Next one across is our A string, then our D, G, B, and E. I'll go over those again, but this time with a little saying. Now, the one that I grew up with was Eddie's awful dog grew big ears. Okay, now I know it seems the more popular one that I've seen among students nowadays is Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. So if we're going to stick with that one, E for Eddie, A for 8, D for dynamite, G for good, B for bye, even though goodbye is one word, I think. Eddie again. So you notice we've got two Eddies here, we've got two E strings, so we have to specify which one's which. The low E gives us the lowest sound, the high E gives us the highest sound, but that's going to throw you off a little bit, and that's the whole thing that it seems confusing at first when you're starting out, is that our lower notes that we can make are actually physically higher up on the guitar, and as I go closer to the floor, I'm actually playing higher notes. So that's the other thing to get used to about guitar playing in general, is that it's low to high, but also low to high that way as well. One more time, what was it? Eddie's awful. Eddie ate dynamite. Goodbye, Eddie. Okay, so I'm going to test you real quick, and now obviously I'm not looking over your shoulder to see if you're getting these right or wrong, but just to humour me and really try to get that in the head there, let me see you play. Just make a sound with the A string. Okay, that one there, I'm sure you got that right. Okay, the B string. Big, there it is. Goodbye. Okay, so high E string. That's it. D string. Dynamite. That's the sound, that's right. Low E string. You got it. Now I'm going to test you on this. Let's see how well you can see it. I'm going to play a particular string and you tell me which string I'm playing. Yep, there's our A. That's our G. Low E. You got it. One last time, let me check you on that. Let me see you play the G. Now the high E string. Now play the A string. I'm sure you're getting these right. Low E string. Very good. Okay, so the other thing that I'll say about that is, of course, we have 6 strings on a guitar, but we're really only having to learn 4 strings here. So it's not going to take long until it just becomes automatic and we know straight away which string to go to. So because I say there's only 4 strings, because we can eliminate those 2 straight away, they're both E. They're both E for Eddie. So really we've only got these 4 middle ones that we're trying to make sense of, and you know, so 8 dynamite goodbye, or awful dog grew big. That's just seems to help some people to quickly find the string that they're looking for. Good, the names of the strings. So I better just mention a little bit about getting in tune, because it doesn't matter how good we get at all the stuff, the chords and the tricks and all that sort of thing. If things not in tune, then it's impossible to get a good sound out of it. Well, yeah, pretty much impossible. Now, I'll be using this guitar for a lot of this content I'll be teaching, because it's got a built-in tuner that I can press a button there, and you know, it shows me whether I need to go higher or lower with the sound of the note. Nowadays, you don't really actually even need to buy a tuner, because I've found that the apps that you can get on the phone, even with a phone with a not a particularly good microphone on it, still seem to be really accurate. You still need to at least have a clue, get the sound of the string close enough to the note that you're aiming for. So if I got this E string and made it sound like that or something, then, well, first of all, it might be getting too low. A microphone might struggle to accurately pick up the sound, but also it'll tell me I'm nowhere near the E note that I'm looking for. So then I might not necessarily know which way it's got to go, if I've got to tighten it or loosen it, etc. Although if I'm hearing that, that's very low for a guitar sound. But anyway, I'll put that back in tune. Put it way out. close enough. Okay, so when we're talking about tuning guitars, the first thing I'd recommend is that if you know someone, or ask around and get someone who's done it before to help you out to start with. But assuming that's not an option, and that's what we're here for, we of course know the names of each of the strings, so we know what note each of those should be tuned to. Now, probably the easiest place to start is to actually just get one of the tuning apps on the phones. So the first search result that came up in the Apple App Store was this one called Guitar Tuner. They've spelled tuner T-U-N-A. Tuner is in the fish. I'm going to go through one string at a time, and of course I'm going to be tuning using the tuning keys. And if it's all set up correctly, the strings should be going down the center of an acoustic guitar, not wrapping to the outside, if you know what I mean there. So when I turn it this way, that's loosening the string, making the pitch go lower, so obviously the opposite's going to make it come higher. So now when I have that sound in front of my app here, it's going to tell me if the note needs to go up or down in pitch. Alright, so hopefully you can see that alright. This is just the app on the phone. So it's tuning my voice as I speak at the moment. So now I'm going to hear the low E string. And that's actually pretty close. You can see that it's slightly left of the center there. So as I tighten it slightly, and that will probably do. Okay, I move on to the A string, and I'm going to actually intentionally now just put it out of tune. Just now, it still picks it up as an A string, and that's because I've got this on the guitar setting. So that's handy. If it was going to, tuning to A flat notes and things like that, it might be a little bit more confusing. You might be tuning to the wrong note. This app is pretty good because it's just set to the notes that are concert pitch, we call it, just the regular way we tune a guitar. That seems to be the only options on this app. See, now it thinks I'm tuning an E. It's pretty good like that, because now I'm just going to tighten it up. It's going to, now it sees it as an A. I keep tightening, we're getting closer, closer, closer. It's So then we just go through and we repeat that process for all of the strings. But I think that it's a useful skill to be able to tune a guitar by ear as well. You might not always have an app or a tuner nearby. So the way we go about doing that is that if we can assume is close enough to in tune, then we can just tune the rest of the guitar starting from there. The way we go about doing that is that if I play the 5th fret of the low E string, that note there, then that is an A note. That should sound the same as the A string, which is right next door. Okay, so when I play that A note, well, that's actually a totally different sound, totally different pitch. So then we've got to try to distinguish, is that note higher or lower than the note that we're playing here? Right, that second note I played, the open A string, is too low. I need to turn the tuning peg and tighten it. You can see that. I'm tightening it. Now that'll be pretty close now. If I play that 5th fret again, very close. Now the tone is going to be different. That's what makes it tricky. They're not exactly the same sound, but it's just the pitch that we're going for. If we were to hum that tune, that note, I'm not humming it in tune. Works the same way when I move on to tuning the D string here. I'm going to play the 5th fret of the A string. Should sound the same as the open D string, and it does. So I don't need to change anything here. Now the guitar's pretty well in tune, but I'm actually going to intentionally now put it out of tune. I shouldn't do that. And I'm going to work our way through. So then when I'm going to tune the G string now, I'm going to play the 5th fret of the D, and that should sound, they sound different now. I need to tighten it. It's out of tune, it's too low. I'll tighten that. Now it's pretty close. Okay, so far I'm going to go from the start again. There's my low E string. I play the 5th fret to sound like the A string, which has gone a little bit flat. There we go. Now I play the 5th fret of the A string. Should sound the same as the D string. On to the next one. 5th fret. Should sound the same as the G string, and it does. Here's the tricky one. When I'm going to tune the B string, I actually have to go back to the 4th fret, and that's just the way the guitar's tuned. Too high this time, I've got to loosen it. Last one, 5th fret again to tune the high E string. That's very different, very flat. Okay, so it takes a lot of practice. It's an ear training kind of thing. And, you know, I've been tuning guitars a lot for years, and it's not perfectly in tune now, but it's probably close enough for most things. Okay, so I'm going to go over that one last time. 5th fret on the E string gives us the A note. 5th fret on the A string gives us the D note. 5th fret on the D string gives us the G note. 4th fret on the G string gives us the B note, which is 5th fret on the B string gives us the E note. You might have heard recordings of guitarists going. So anyway, I'll just real quick, I'm just going to have this as a reference point for you if you want to have the sound of each of the strings, but then we're going to move on to other stuff. Alright, here's one more time. Low E string, Eddie, A for 8, D for dynamite, G for good, B for buy, and E for Eddie.